First, Happy New Year. And second, I'm going to get into a quick update on the New York rodeo ban, as well as what is going on in Los Angeles with the rodeo ban there, because that's kind of where all this mess started. So over the last 90 days, there's been a lot of misinformation on Facebook and across social media platforms that New York has banned rodeo, okay? And that's not the case. New York has not banned rodeo, but they are working on it. There are people in their state government that have, in fact, they have gotten the supermajority. And that's part of this important update here, is that what ended up happening in New York was that there was enough co-sponsors on the bill to ban rodeo that I believe it was the Speaker of the House had to prioritize the bill, and it had to be addressed by the end of the year. But because of the holiday season, our lovely state representatives, not that I live in New York, but just state representatives in general, have quite a bit of time off. And in New York particularly, they ended up getting out of session December 18th. But because the New York rodeo ban bill had to be prioritized by the year, they had to put it on the schedule. And so it ended up getting on the schedule for December 30th, which means that the New York state government was out of session, which means they could not actually handle this bill. So what ends up happening is it gets pushed to now 2026, and which is a great thing, right? Because now this thing's not being forced through at the end of the year. It's getting pushed into the next year. And so their New York state government will have to come back into session, and then we'll have to be able to gauge what exactly is the temperature, if you will, what exactly is going to happen, how much fire is in their stomachs to try to ban rodeo in New York. Now, here's the thing that we all realize, and I'm going to talk about LA here for a second, because a lot of you guys are like, there's no way they're going to ban rodeo in New York. Listen, they've been working on banning rodeo in LA, Los Angeles, for the last 5 years. And Western Justice has been the line of defense, with a lot of support from some very key players, from the Charos to the PRCA to others, that have been backing Western Justice to make sure that the LA rodeo ban does not go through. And the first reaction when we talk with people about, hey, what is going on like in LA? And they're like, oh, just blow California off the map. Well, obviously, practically, that's not going to happen. And number two, LA is the second largest city in the United States. So if rodeo is successfully banned in LA, then you can bet your bottom dollar that these other states and these other blue cities will follow suit, because they'll have a template for success. And so Western Justice has spent over $1 million in the last 5 years alone fighting LA City Council and these animal rights activists and these other attorneys that are pushing to ban rodeo in LA. And one of the biggest things is that we cannot be passive. We cannot just be sitting idly by the wayside going, oh, they'll never be able to do it. Because they're working tremendously hard to be able to eliminate our way of life. If you're in ranching, rodeo, anything horse related, if you enjoy the Western way of life where you own livestock, you get to ride your horses, you get to go to competitive events from breakaway roping to bull riding to bronc riding to steer wrestling, whatever it is, these people have an evil agenda to eliminate our lifestyle. And that's as plain Jane as I possibly can put it. And it takes us coming together to actually make sure this doesn't happen. Because the other side, right, the animal rights activists and the people that are against rodeo and against all these things, that most of these people just aren't educated, okay? But they're fighting with emotion, and they get their little friends riled up on the emotion, right? So many people, I was out in Vegas at the NFR, and we were at a watch party, and we're watching, I think it was the second round, and we're sitting in this bar, this guy behind us, he's from New York. He's a city boy. And this dude was full of freaking energy. And he wrestled, I think, in college. And I mean, this dude was a blast. But he was carrying on, he's watching the board, and he goes, this is sick. Like, these guys are crazy. And he goes, and then he finally said this comment, he goes, does it hurt the bulls when they tie their nuts up? And anyone in rodeo knows they don't do that, right? It's like such a common misconception. And this guy, he was enjoying the rodeo, but then you could tell he had this sympathy for the animals because he thought they were subjected to their balls being tied up in the bull riding. And we sat there and we're like, man, be honest, that is completely normal, like, thought process, but it's a lie. It's not true. It's not how they do it. And he's like, really? And then we got to have a conversation with him about, like, why bull's butt, what the flank strap is, right? But the thing is that we had the opportunity to have a conversation with that guy. Most people, though, are being sold a bunch of lies from these animal rights activists, and it gets their emotions up, right? Because any of us as animal lovers, those of us that enjoy ranch and rodeo, the Western way of life, anything to do with, this lifestyle, none of us, we want what's best for the animals, right? And so we're in alignment with that, but the other side is selling a bunch of lies and then getting people emotionally riled up. And emotion activates people, and we need to be a bit emotional about the fact that we got to be willing to fight for this industry. We have to be willing to stand up for what's going on. And there's so many things that have happened, from ELD mandates to these other things that these animal rights activists have pushed to try to cripple and slow down and stop our way of life. Right now, in this particular instance, it's the rodeo bans in New York and in LA, right? And so quick couple action items, because all of us need to be doing this. And number one is, I'm going to put these links at the top of this video or the top of the podcast where you're watching, listening. Okay. Number one is to comment on the LA City Council's page. You do not have to live in California to do this. Okay. But we need you to go to the LA City Council page. You click that link and you put a comment in there. You can say, please don't ban rodeo. You can be as simple as that. You can be as in-depth as to what rodeo means to you and why you love it and why you don't want it banned. This is a public comment section that this LA City Council is gauging the public interest on what does the public want, okay? And we worked really hard out at the NFR in Vegas to get more people on commenting this, and we've caught up. But again, we're fighting in a lying emotional machine on the other side. And so they have some people that go on there on the emotional, let's ban rodeo side, and they're commenting every day, multiple times a day. Okay. At least all I'm asking you is to go comment once. If you'll comment every day, a couple times a week, that'd be awesome. Okay. But you need to go to the LA City Council page. Second is a petition. And this helps Western justice across the country with going to legislators and in places where they're trying to ban rodeo and saying, listen, we have a strong group of people that back Western justice, that have signed this petition, that do not want rodeo banned. And so the second link is to a petition that helps us across the country. And the third thing that I'm going to ask you to do is go join Western Justice, okay? Many of you are familiar with the NRA, National Rifle Association, okay? You guys are familiar with the NRA. Western Justice is the NRA of the Western lifestyle. Western Justice is membership funded. The way that Western Justice is able to go fight against this rodeo ban in LA, the way that Western Justice is able to go help ranchers that are being prosecuted by the U.S. government for bullshit things that are going on because they're trying to seize their land, the way that Western Justice is able to fight against the Horse Protection Act of trying to ban our ability to actually ride horses, which is exactly what we were talking about and fighting against and spreading awareness about and getting people behind this time last year. And that's still an ongoing issue. We'll do another update video on that particular situation. But thanks to Western Justice and the network and the work that they do behind the scenes, they were able to get that first postponed. And then I'll share in another video what could possibly happen down the road when we can share that, okay? If all of us came together and joined Western Justice, this is something to think about, is that between ranching, rodeo, the Western way of life with horses, it could be the biggest lobbying group in Washington, D.C., which means it has the most people backing it to have the strongest representation on a legal level with politicians in Washington, D.C. And one of the things that I love about Western Justice is it's a very lean and it's a very mean team. I volunteer my time to help them. Okay, so like when I went out to Vegas to help them in their booth, I just volunteer my time to go do those things because I believe in their mission, right? And Dave oftentimes says that it takes a lot of money and a lot of effort to spread a lie, but it takes a little bit to spread the truth. And I'm paraphrasing. He has a much better way of saying that. But their commitment to the truth, their commitment to fighting for this way of life, because Dave's been on the fight for this for 20 years. And they know, and none of us can be so naive to believe that, oh man, there's no way they could pass a law that would make it illegal to ride horses or make it illegal to have rodeos or all of these things. And there are tons of people that are extremely passionate, delusional but passionate, about eliminating our way of life. And we cannot let New York and Los Angeles ban rodeo. Because if they do, many other cities will follow, and it will create a momentous ball and a trickle effect that will create massive issues across our industry. This goes far beyond not being able to have a PBR event in that city. Okay, this steps into the realm of, okay, if they ban rodeo, what are they going to ban next? They're going to ban the horse shows. They're going to ban the ability to ride horses. They're going to ban the ability to have animals, any type of animals used for this type of thing. It's a deep agenda that these animal rights activists have because they don't believe that we have the right to own animals. They don't think that we should have pets. They don't think that we should be able to do anything with these animals, and they want to eliminate that. Okay? They want to take it as far as the dog and cat level. And I don't want to like completely go down this wormhole right now because some of you guys are like, there's no way. Dive down the wormhole. Okay? But to wrap this up, go comment on the LA City Council page. When you comment, you're going to leave your comment. It's going to send you an email. When you get that email, it's a confirmation email. There's a little orange button in that email. Click that, please. After you make your comment on the LA City Council page, go to your email and click the orange button. That confirms your comment and actually posts it to the City Council page. Okay? If you don't go to your email and click that orange button on the LA City Council email, it won't post your comment. You'll have taken the time to write the comment, but nobody will see it. The City Council won't see it. Nobody will see it. It won't go towards the tally and the weight of what's the majority, right? Because that's what they're looking for. Then sign the petition. That helps us across the country be able to have your support of we want to keep rodeo alive all across the country. And the third thing is go join Western Justice. Go get your membership to Western Justice. There's low as $50 a year, and then you can donate up to their top membership is $1,000 for just annual memberships. If you're in a spot where you're like, I want to support this cause even more, then you can reach out to them, go to their contact page. I'm not sure exactly what the email is right offhand, but contact them and just put in the subject line, like, I'm interested in being a corporate sponsor. Okay. Between memberships from people like us and corporate sponsorships from your company, from your ranch, from your business, from yourself, if you want to be a corporate sponsor, which means that you're going to be willing to allocate more than $1,000 a year to be able to support them. Here's the thing. There's a 501c3 and a 501c4. Again, if you're, and you're able to have a tax deduction. Okay. It can be tax deductible depending on how you're donating. And so if you've got questions about that, just go to westernjustice.info. We'll link that below. But please, first three things, Go comment on the LA City Council page. Go sign the petition. This stuff takes less than 5 minutes. You've already spent 14 minutes and 54 seconds watching this video. So it takes less than 5 minutes to go do these things, and it actually makes a difference. It makes a significant difference. Which is why when we went to the NFR, our whole focus was on getting people to do these things, right? 100% down, because this is the most important thing that's at the top of the list right now for the Western way of life is handling these things. And then the last thing is go get your Western Justice membership. When you do, come back, comment and say, I got my Western Justice membership. Encourage other people to do it. Share this video with them. Guys, it takes all of us coming together, right? This is not whistleblowing. This is not blowing smoke up people's skirts. This is not blowing things out of proportion. This is having a real conversation about real issues that face our industry every single day. And we have to be thankful, and beyond thankful, we have to be supporting Western Justice, because every single day they are fighting and working with people that have points of influence, that have control over certain situations, to make sure that this way of life does not die, and that it doesn't get crippled and it doesn't get shackled by some bullshit law that gets written into place in some woke city because some people are misinformed, right? And so there's a lot that goes into this. If you guys are interested in being able to meet the team with Western Justice, keep an eye on their schedule for this year. I believe that they're working on being at a couple different events throughout the year. It takes all of us coming together, right? Western Justice can't do what they do without members. And so go get your Western Justice membership, sign the LA City Council page, sign the petition on rural action in America. I'll have those links directly below. You don't have to go search for them. I will put them straight below this video. And then make sure you come back and comment and say, hey, I got my Western Justice membership. You should go do the same thing. Share this with your friends. Let's make this happen. It takes all this coming together.